All right, it's 30 minutes past the hour of 4. My name is Michelle. Welcome. This is The Office on Lagos Talks 91.3. Now, remember, The Office is proudly brought to you by the Chartered Institute of Personal Management and Lagos Talks 91.3. Today, we'll be talking about building soft skills. Building soft skills. As you know, this particular show, as we always do, it bring highly notable individuals or experts in the corporate world, and we discuss the workforce, we discuss recruitment, promotions, and other workplace related issues, values, and more. All right. And today, joining me as my guest is the HR Director, Nigeria and Developing Middle East Africa, Kimberly-Clark. Now, she is a value-driven HR expert with over 14 years of work experience spanning financial services, oil and gas servicing, and manufacturing industries. An emotionally intelligent manager's coach with a passion for optimal performance and excellent execution, she delivers value-added services with a focus on continuous improvement across the HR value chain as talent acquisition, onboarding management, performance management, strategic HR management, and industry relations. Now, she's a professional of repute with the HR and corporate space, known for her strong bias for excellence and execution, implementing strategic intent through the HR policies and practices to achieve business growth and efficiency. She's a performance coach as well, a creative influencer with strong abilities in goal setting, effective communication and presentation, and negotiation. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today is Mrs. Faith Akintunde, ACIPM. She's joining us today as our guest on The Office. Good evening.
Good evening, Michelle. It's good to be here again and good to see you.
Thanks for joining us. Today, we'll be talking about developing or building soft skills. And my listeners, they might have heard about soft skills. Some might be hearing it for the first time. So I'd like us to be as bare as possible and just strip it down so they understand and can easily relate to what soft skills are. So what exactly is a soft skill?
Okay, so soft skill, just to make it as soft and simple as it sounds, right? They are personal traits, they're personal abilities, they are traits that help an individual to navigate life. I mean, as simple as that. So it just sort of helps to facilitate interpersonal interactions with minimal struggle. So if you do have soft skills, it will make life easier for you in your interaction with people, interaction with the environment, and of course, addressing issues. There are a couple of examples. People get to also refer to soft skill as core skills, power skills, or you even call them common skills.
Okay.
Sometimes people differentiate them with your regular attitude, your approach to issues. But examples are communication, your communication skills, your ability to adapt to situation, your emotional intelligence, for example, how you respond or react to situations, problem solving, those are just examples. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Now, why should we care about soft skills? What's so special about soft skills? Why should we care as individuals, as employees or employers? Why should we care about soft skills?
Okay. So first, I'd say that your hard skills, also known as technical or functional skills, right, would get you a foot in the door.
Okay.
But your soft skill will keep you in the room. So you can come to interviews, you can get someone to build your CVs, for example, and get coached for an interview and get the job. But if you do not have the soft skill that would help you to navigate the uncertain terrain, the volatile workplace, the difficult, in case you find yourself in a toxic work environment, you will need your soft skills, right, to stay afloat, to manage your productivity, to interact with people that would also help you to deliver on your goals. So yes, we should care about them because they would help us in our lifelong agenda, whether just on a career front or on a personal front, maritally speaking, in various dimensions. Soft skills, they're very critical. I would say they're like life skills.
So how are soft skills relevant in the workplace? Let's bring it down to the workplace and find ways that we can connect it to our jobs, our careers, our offices. How does it relate with employment or the workplace? Soft skills, how relevant is it?
All right. So from a competent, there's something called competency framework, and I'm trying not to be as technical as simple as possible. I'm just trying to be simple, right? But in a normal workplace, there is a framework that is required for people, right? And it's called competency. So in the competency framework, you have the functional skills, which you can say so from the dimension of knowledge, skills, and attitude. So for you to deliver on a job, you need knowledge, you need skills, and you need attitude. When we come to knowledge, right? Those are the hard part, the technical part, the functional part. That's what you require to do the job. For example, as an accountant, you need to know certain core accounting. You need to have some certain core accounting skills to deliver on the job. However, for a professional, no matter who you are, across various functional dimensions, you need soft skill for you to be productive in the workplace. Soft skills are key consideration for productivity in the workplace. If you think about problem solving, is an example of soft skill. No matter how technically savvy you are, if you do not have the interest of solving problems, addressing issues, pulling down areas where there are no clarity, or giving clarity to issues, right? If you do not have such interest, it will be difficult for you to just deliver only on your job. Some people say that you come to workplace and your focus is just on the work. Interesting. But if you do not know how to communicate your intentions, your vision to maybe a team or even your peers, let's say you don't manage people, it will be difficult to be productive. So soft skills are critical for you, not just to deliver on your job, but for you to get promoted. For example, of course, if you're not a high performer, promotion might not even come. So if you want to grow, if you want to be a preferred candidate, whether you're trying to change job or you on your current role, you're trying to be the best, you need soft skills. Another instance is talent management in organizations. There's something called talent management, and that's a system where organizations review the entire people in the organization and classify them across various dimensions in terms of performance and their potential for growth. When this kind of activity is being done, a huge consideration is given to soft skill. So instances like your learning agility, your ability to learn, your interest to learn, your ability to inspire followership, your problem solving ability, your people management skills, your interpersonal relationships, all this, they come into consideration when we are reviewing how people are placed. For example, there are vacancies and you're looking for who is the best fit within the organization. Soft skills, beyond the performance of the technical dimension, right? Soft skills are very strong considerations. So you get to hear people say, oh, I like this person, I don't like this person, I'm going to hire this person because I like them. It's not only because they are great performers, but also because maybe they're likable, they are amenable, they are willing to take corrections, they are willing to interact with other people or take learning, or take feedback. So they are very important in the workplace, and every organization is on the lookout for people that are highly skilled when it comes to not just technical dimension, but when it comes to soft skill. Such people are usually considered when it comes to leadership. So give an example of a leadership skill. I think I'll pause here, right?
Yeah, because I want to ask, because it seems as though soft skills are very, very important. It goes beyond how knowledgeable you are, how experienced you are, how educated you are. Soft skills, with everything you said, is actually very, very important. It's like the icing up on the cake for you. If you're educated, if you're knowledgeable, if you're experienced, and you have all the skills, it takes some amount of, or a few skills here and there to just pull it all together and make you the preferred candidate, or make you more influential in your workspace. So I'd like to ask, for the benefit of my listeners, I'm sure they'd love to pick out the top 3 or top must-have soft skills that you consider to be very, very important as far as a career is concerned. What would that be for you? Top 3 soft skills that everyone must have to be ahead in their career.
Okay, so thank you. And I see this question as very important. And personally speaking, from my perspective, I think number 1 is emotional intelligence, also known as emotional quotient. You need emotional intelligence to succeed in your career, in life generally. Second is communication skills. No matter how gifted you are, no matter how talented you are, you need to know how to communicate your intentions, your plans. And your communication skills will help you to influence people, get people on board to buy into your vision. So you need it. Someone would say, oh, what if I can't talk? What if I'm dumb? Communication is not just about verbal communication, being able to voice your intentions. There are various ways where you can communicate, but the skill is very important. Third, because the world is becoming very volatile, uncertain, right? There's the need for adaptability. People have got to be agile, be flexible in responding to situations. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. So my thought is adaptability. As an individual, you should be able to embrace change, right? With minimal, I say difficulty. Everybody would have difficulty embracing change, but adaptability would help you to quickly respond when change occurs. Okay.
All right. Adaptability, very important. It's good to always learn to adapt, to move with the trends, and not just be static in anything. You have to. All right, that's what I'm going to steal. Thank you for that. But let's talk about how we can develop these things. Now, you talked about emotional intelligence, which is very important, not just for the workplace, but personal life and how we relate with other people in society. You also talked about good communication skills, very, very important, and of course the need to also learn to be adaptable. But how can you learn these things? How do you grow emotional intelligence? How do you improve on your communication skills? How do you become more adaptable if you're one person who isn't really keen on change because you like things a certain way and you bring it to the workplace? How do you start changing, especially when the world keeps evolving? How do you catch on? How do you develop these soft skills?
Okay, that's a good question. I think for every individual, whatever journey you are on, you need to first know where you are.
Okay.
Right, before you can determine where you want to go. So you need to recognize what you have in terms of the skills. We've just listed top 3, right? There are lots and lots of skills.
Right.
As a professional, I mean, we speak professionally. As a professional, you need to recognize the skills that are required for success where you're working. I mean, if we speak from a workplace point of view, you need to recognize what is required for success. What are those soft skills? And you get that, I mean, from various sources in your organization. There could be a competency framework that highlights those skills. There could be a culture competency framework that also helps you. Or you could even have a conversation with your boss to understand, oh, how do you view me? Right. So you first need to understand where you are and then determine how you want to go to where you want to go. How would you do that? You would first need feedback. There is nobody that doesn't have a blind spot. We all do. So seeking feedback would help you to see where you are, how people view you, and then you can then decide to say, okay, between now and the rest of this month or the rest of this year, for example, it's not a sprint, sincerely. To build soft skills, it's not a short-term plan. You have to build a medium-term plan for that. So you need coaching, you need of course, to make conscious efforts to proactively model these behaviors, act these behaviors. So sometimes you're tempted to be yourself. Like you said, you just want to be, oh, that's me. Guys, accept me that way. But if you really want to build soft skills, you have to make conscious efforts to act deliberately, to be intentional in your reaction, your response. And of course, look out for a stretch opportunity, an opportunity that puts you in an uncomfortable place in terms of certain skills that you want to build. So, for example, you find it difficult to listen. You have to find opportunities to be in a team where you are not the leader. You volunteer to be on the team so that you can listen to other people, and you would then practice active listening from there. There are a series of other examples I could use, but of course, in the interest of time. So seek feedback, get coaching, and of course, you can find someone that you can model after. So someone that inspires you in a certain area, you connect with them and begin to model them. And thirdly, make conscious efforts, deliberate efforts to be intentional in actively practicing this skill. And of course, look out for the stretch.
Brilliant. Very, very brilliant. But it's still on the workspace or in the work environment. I'm just wondering, I mean, can an organization help you develop your soft skills? It seems as though the soft skill development journey lies on you. It looks like a personal burden. You have to work on yourself. I mean, it's always important that we work on ourselves, but I'm just wondering if an organization can influence your desire to improve on your soft skills, and besides influencing, can they also actively see your potential and see that you're struggling in a certain area and decide to coach you, to train you, to do something about ways that you can be more adaptable or have better communication skills or have better emotional intelligence? Is that something that you've seen happen in organizations here in Nigeria? Is that
okay?
Is it possible?
I like your question because you sort of answered it, right? And then to the bit of if it's possible, yes, very possible. I worked in a lot of places, and where I currently work, I mean, I say with all sense of humility and truth, this organization is one of the organizations that you will find a lot of models that would help you to build your soft skills. That being said, there are a lot of other organizations that would help you. And organizations can help people to build or to develop their soft skills in many ways. I mean, you've mentioned training, right? But I'll say, first of all, an organization needs to build an enabling environment that helps people to want to be this way. Like, oh, when I come into Kimberly-Clark, for example, I know that in this place, this is how we work. This is our ways of working. You don't shout at people. You don't react out of anger. You know, you comport yourself. You manage your emotions. You will naturally want to be that way because the organization has set the framework for that. So every organization first needs to help people by having a journey or setting themselves on a journey to have a great culture. I wouldn't say that they must all have a great culture. Not every organization has a great culture like mine, but every organization must make an attempt to build a great culture. That culture would help employees to understand what good looks like. And then you build that into your performance management system such that you can hold people accountable for their behaviors. You must be able to define in your performance management system or your expectations of people, not just of the hardcore skills, not just for the technical expectations, but also for behavioral expectations. So, for example, you should have a clear document that says what your ways of working looks like. And that would help people to know what is expected of them. Thirdly, you can build that into your talent management framework, where you're clearly telling people, you're clearly telling the organization, this is what it looks like for us. This is who a talent is. This is the performance impact that is expected. This is the potential that is also expected. In the potential dimension, you'll be talking about the soft skills, right? Your ability to stretch, your interest to learn, your problem-solving abilities, right? if these are in place, then the leadership must walk the talk. You cannot say, oh, guys, this is how we behave, and then you behave otherwise. You, as a leader, the organization must hold leadership accountable, and the leaders must ensure that they walk the talk. Again, talk about the tone from the top. It has to speak what is expected. It's not just about writing on the white and black on the paper. It should really be the feeling. How do you feel when you're coming to work on Monday? How do you feel when you're preparing for a team meeting, right? It is all of this that would help people to embrace that change, to become better when it comes to soft skill. And of course, at the heart of all of this is training, education, coaching, just like you said, creating that platform for people to say, I want to get better. How can I? And then when they say, I want to do it, and then you provide the resources to do it and demand accountability, demand improvement from them. If all of this is in place, I believe, everyone can easily find their way on their journey to getting better. Yes.
Wow, sounds very, very good. All right, to everyone listening out there, you can be a part of the conversation. You can call in to ask questions. You can send in messages if you have any submission, any contribution, or any question at all. My guest today is Mrs. Faith Akintunde, ACIPM. She's the HR Director of Nigeria, Nigeria and Development, Middle East Africa for Kimberly-Clark. And today we are talking about soft skills, building your soft skills. We've talked about it. We've highlighted what you can do personally to build these soft skills and what an organization can do to create an enabling environment for people to act in a certain way, do things in a certain manner, all towards the goals of the company. Now let's take this call. Lagos Talks, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, you have Abuka on the line.
Abuka. All right, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good evening, so it's been known that human psychology or guys like human behavior when it comes to work environment, controlling pressure, these things. So how do you navigate that? Looking at you are working with people different different ideologies, or how do you incorporate this soft skill in managing organizations, especially if you're in business environment? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. All right. He's saying with the pressure that comes with working and interacting with people from all walks of life in an environment, it's how do you really build the soft skills with everything going on? Let's hold on to that and take another call, and then we'll address both questions at once. Lagos Talks, can you hear us? Hello?
Hello, yeah. Good evening.
Welcome. I'm fine, thank you. Join the conversation. Is this Francis?
Yes, Francis here.
All right.
How do you do?
I'm fine, thank you.
Please, bring me up to speed. What's the discussion?
Today, we're talking about building soft skills.
Okay.
Yes, and we have an HR director expert in the house, and she's talking about the importance of soft skills in the workplace. We asked her to give us three top skills. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So she talked about
when she's talking about soft skills, particularly what does she imply as soft skills? I just want to know from you before I talk.
Good question. So when I asked, she said it goes beyond having the knowledge, having the experience for the job. It's more about the way you relate with people, the attitude, the way you act, the way you conduct yourself, how you're able to influence a team or influence your colleagues at work. And when I asked her to give me three top soft skills that are important in a workplace, she talked about the importance of being adaptable. Be adaptable, learn to adapt to the trends or the different goals of the organization. Number two was emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. And number three was communication skills, having good communication skills that can help you, because if you're knowledgeable, you have all the experience and you cannot communicate properly, you might not be preferred or get the promotion that you desire in the workplace because your soft skills are missing. So I think I've done justice to that question, haven't I?
You have.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Because, when I had soft skills, Mitchell, I was thinking she's going to talk about IT, the different aspects of IT,
okay.
Using of various tools within the IT industry.
Okay.
Because with that, of course, you can relate with all these factors you talked about.
Right.
So way back, in the 90s, when we started work, there was just quarter spreadsheets. There was just, in fact, it was at the 92, 93 period that we began to see Windows or something. I can't remember.
Okay.
But then it was Quattro. You go through a lot of commands to open this dialog box and be able to communicate on the internet and so on and so forth. And then now she's talking about soft skills. How can we relate soft skills in different industries?
Okay.
Like
IT.
when you talk about IT, there are relevant soft skills.
Okay.
When you talk about manufacturing, there are relevant soft skills.
Okay.
We are talking about across board. And somehow it looks as if it's not the same, but they're using the same phrase, soft skills, to identify this particular phenomenon. So please help me to ask our HR experts, how do you distinguish soft skills industry to industry?
All right.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Francis, that's a brilliant question. Thank you for that. Okay, over to my experts in the house.
All right, that was a very brilliant question. Yes, asked by Michelle, and truthfully, I agree. Soft skill actually cuts across function. You can also call them cross-functional skills. Think about problem solving, right? I like to be practical. Think about problem solving. There is no profession that does not need problem-solving skills. You need to have an interest in pulling down shreds of layers of unclear circumstances. So you're talking about an IT person, an IT professional. There are a lot of innovations that have come up due to solving of problems. So if you do have interest in solving problems, that would cut across every function. Emotional intelligence, there's hardly a profession where you do not need to interact with people. Even guys that write programs, programmers, you're writing program languages, codes, you still need to interact with the user. You would need to understand what the user needs, right? The end user, what they would need before you can convert that to code. You need communication skills when it comes to this, because you need to communicate back to that person that, oh, you're clear what they're trying to say. So even the skills that we've highlighted already, they are all required across function, across profession. So soft skills are not limited to a certain profession. It's not only for human resources, for example. It is across base. Talk about people management, talk about time management, talk about leadership, right? These are all soft skills and they are relevant across function. I hope that helped.
All right. I hope it does. I hope so. Francis, if you have more questions, you can quickly just send a message. And let's quickly address the other message from, or the call from Ibuka. Ibuka was asking, with the pressure that comes with work and dealing with people from all walks of life, how do you really build soft skills in a very demanding environment? You know what he means. Living in Lagos, you just want to work and go home. You don't have time for soft skills.
Very solid and valid question. I tell you, you think about when you're in traffic and everybody is angry. How do you display your soft skill in such a situation? But I think first of all is to understand that you're in control. You're in control of how you react or how you respond. So you can choose how you respond. That understanding would help you. If you know that you're in control, you would feel less pressure. Even if someone shouts at you. I mean, I've had to interact with people. I wrote a book on managing talks and difficult bosses, for example. There are difficult people. You would see them every day. But when you understand that you are in control, you're in control of how you take their behavior, their attitude, and how you respond to it, that would help you. Secondly, you would seek to understand. there are situations where people behave in a certain way and you don't understand why they behave that way. It will get you. And if you seek to understand why they behave that way, that would put you under less pressure. It will make you less angry and you will require less emotional energy to manage that situation. Everybody wants a soft life. Everybody wants to be happy, right? Nobody would wake up and say they want to annoy you. I mean, they are going out to come and annoy you. If you understand that, to navigate, soft skills are very important because they would also help to be mentally sane, to be mentally at peace with yourself, you know. And hopefully, if you're able to put all of this together, it's not perfect, but it would help you to face things that we have out there.
All right. Maybe we can squeeze in one last call before we go. Lagos Talks, good evening.
Really appreciate the accord back with commission.
All right.
Honestly, she hit the hammer on the head of the head.
Okay.
Then, in addition, meditation, self-awareness, because Lagos is not easy, the stress. So meditation is more like awareness, awareness, like know who you are, take control of your journey, everything. Because if you don't practice this thing, you get mad. Because in business, especially in business environment, get to cross people that with different baggages, different psychology, different ideology, and also your self-awareness will help you to navigate through and strike a balance. And I was going to say flexibility and adaptability. These are things, and your technically those are hard skills in addition. Thank you very much, Madam Michelle.
Thank you so much. So he's mentioned that self-awareness is very important, and I think that gives more light to what you said about knowing that you are in control, of who you are, how you respond, how you speak. It's important to have that when dealing with people. Knowing who you are will help you. So he just mentioned self-awareness and the importance of meditation. But we have to go now. Time is overstretched already. Thank you so much. We had Mrs. Akintunde Faith today joining us. She is, she is the HR Director, Nigeria and Developing Middle East and Africa of Kimberly-Clark, the makers of Huggies. And she is a value-driven HR expert with over 14 years of work experience spanning financial services, oil and gas servicing, and manufacturing industries. I could go on and on about her very brilliant profile, but we have to stop here. Thank you so much. Would you love to share anything else before you go, Mrs. Faith?
Thank you for having me first, and also thank you to CIPM for this opportunity. Finally, I'd like to say that we all agree that we need a better world. The world is becoming more and more difficult. And to contribute to making the world a better place, we all need to pay attention to developing our soft skills on an ongoing basis. Right. There is the tendency to want to stay in our default setting. That's me. That's how I like to behave. No. Don't remain in your default setting. Strive to improve your soft skills. Become a better person so that the world can become a better place.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. We hope you join us again when we call you. And of course, we'll love to learn more from you. Thanks for joining us today on The Office. Coming up next is Critical Thinking with Zeal. So stay with us. This is Lagos Talks 91.3.